Started out at 14 using opiates, and quickly became an addict, and spent a lot my teenage years in New York just struggling with addiction. Didn't know God, just doing whatever I wanted. And then the first time I went to treatment was in 2012. I went to Norcross, Georgia, it was a Scientology-based treatment facility. Stayed there for 3 months, and that's where I met David.
I'm born and raised here in Columbus, Georgia. My mom moved to Harris County when we were like 12 or 13 because my parents divorced. And, we were in the military as I was growing up, so we bounced around. But we kind of settled in Harris County, and I kind of started experimenting with drugs. Started out just normal, I guess I say normal, but, marijuana, cocaine, and then that kind of rolled into ecstasy and LSD. I never really clinged to anything, though, until I started experimenting with opiates. And then from that point, it was just a constant chase. I got the taste for it when I was like 17 or 18. So I probably spent the next 10 years in and out of jail, in and out of doctor's offices. I guess you'd call it doctor shopping back in the day. And before we moved into our apartment, we stopped and got some heroin to christen it our first night. That's, about where we were at.
We thought we'd get so much more done if we just got a little
Yeah, we can unpack
high.
this whole U-Haul.
Yes, such a smart idea.
But from that point, we spiraled out of control. I watched her overdose a couple times. I rushed her to the hospital. Several friends OD'd at my house.
We dropped a bunch off at the Grady Hospital.
Just we were living basically like
Hanging by a
animals.
thread.
Yeah, I mean it was horrible. Our apartment, bloodstained walls. I would break furniture. I was abusive. If I didn't have my fix, I mean, just absolutely miserable to the point where I wanted to kill myself, but I wasn't brave enough to do so. And I try to tell people like what physical addiction, like heroin addiction, was for us. It's not like I woke up or went to bed every night looking forward to the next day of doing more heroin. Every single night we would sit there and like just beg for it to end. Like we didn't know how to make it stop. We wanted it to stop, but we couldn't accomplish it. And when I overdosed and went to jail that last time, it was an attempted suicide. I tried to overdose on heroin. Woke up in the hospital. Obviously did not take me out. Had a game plan to go get more to basically finish the job. Cops pulled in the driveway and arrested me. Well, they charged me and her with 15 counts of felony possession with intent. So I had a $150,000 bond, and she did as well. So needless to say, that was the end for me. I wasn't going anywhere. It was revealed to me while I went through the program that I never really knew Christ. I had an understanding of the idea of Christ just from seeing other people worship and being around church and going to Christian school. I had a good idea of who Christ was, but I didn't know Christ. And so I actually, before I came here, while I was sitting in a jail cell, I was in really bad shape and really depressed and just didn't know where to turn. And I think I was finally broken. And my mom led me into a prayer, which was really simple. I just said Jesus. And that was pretty much all I could say at the time. And that's where I truly believe that I became saved. Obviously, I was fresh, and it was by the grace of God and His plan that I walked right into these doors and built upon that relationship. But yeah, so before that, when they were trying to find our rehab or the Valley Rescue Mission, my mom was desperately trying to search for advice once again about me and Megan and what she could do to help. And one of the things that the expert advice she was given was that me and Megan couldn't do it together.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I remember sitting in my room at the Women's Recovery Center and just praying that, because so many people said that, you know, because we used together for so long, that it would never work. We could never, doesn't matter if I'm changed, I can't expect him to change. And I just remember begging God, like, I love him. Please change his heart so that we can do this together. Because I know I'm never going back. I need him to be on the same page. And I just remember sitting there pleading, and God, he answered my prayers.
But another very unique thing about the Valley Rescue Mission was that it's a Christian-based rehab or program. And thankfully, Don Harbuck at the time respected marriage, and he respected our marriage. And I don't know if he went out of his way or if they pulled some strings, but we were allowed to visit with each other.
His mom and stepdad would come and pick me up on Sundays during their visitation and bring me here so that I got to see him for an hour, whatever it was, once a week. Which I don't, people were so confused at why I was leaving every Sunday. But it was really important, and it was really, I think, important for us to see the growth in each other and keep the hope that, you know, our family could be a family. We are so grateful. When we look at our life before the mission and what the doors that God has opened, you know, and just not even like financially and with our family. I know that I have the tools now to lead my children to Christ. And I'm not going to question where we're going to be when we die. And I have all the confidence that, you know, I don't have to question where my children will be, because we're going to raise them to love Jesus. And that's really all that matters in the end, is making it to heaven with Jesus. That's
That anybody can do it, right? If they put God first.
mm-hmm.
It's not like a me thing. I didn't do this, and
Yeah.
Megan didn't do this. That was the biggest thing we had to overcome. And we learned that very thing here. This is the first place we heard it. Is it wasn't going to be you, and it wasn't going to be me to get us sober or keep us sober. It was 100% him.
Yeah.
And when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians 12, 9, and 10 is what got me through, and I think is what got me to where I'm at right now. Understanding that it's not my strength, it's his strength. That's what I want people to know.